Live. Everything's opposite. That's not weird at all.
Let's go to.
Hey, y'all.
It's
We
normal.
are back for another live. Today's topic is we have a tournament schedule coming up, and for the club,
Yes.
and we're going to go over the schedule and what we predict is going to be the major players of that. Sweet, audio is working. Before we get into that, the very first thing is we went to ISE, International Sportsman's Expo, this last weekend. Talked to several of the subscribers, followers, watchers. It's awesome. It like kind of revitalizes you a little bit to get going. Definitely appreciate everyone that said hi. That was cool.
Great talking with everybody.
Yeah, it was awesome talking with everybody. Had lengthy conversations with a couple of you guys, so
yeah,
it was pretty
handed
cool.
out some stickers.
Handed out some stickers.
Nice.
All great feedback on all that stuff, and it was nice to like what we try to do with the channel and the comments that come back, and like they get the vision. It's kind of cool.
Yeah,
you know, trying to stay local, stay like open, free,
open communication.
Yeah.
We had people just walk up to us, start talking to us, and it was great times.
Saw Blind Squirrel was there. Talked to him. Didn't talk to there was Blanchard and all them other guys there. Didn't talk to any of them. We don't know them personally. That is, just watch their videos.
Yeah.
Blanchard packed the house at the tank. Him and his friends probably pulled a larger crowd than anyone else, I think, at that tank.
Yeah,
I think that's cool.
I think one of the things though with like the kayak world is you have a lot of people that kayak fish, right? They think it's the entry level into bass fishing. So
it's kind of like the new wave of bass fishing.
Yes.
There's people who don't even care about getting a boat at all. They're just going to go straight to kayak.
Yeah. What's going on, Getsy?
What's happening, Getsy?
What's up?
We're trying a new camera today, so hopefully the glitching and glitter and all that stuff, and as I look, it's crooked. But we'll work on that for next week.
What's it's opposite too.
Yeah, it's
what's going on, Marlon?
Yeah. What's happening, Crappie Closet? Speaking of which, Crappie Closet, March 1st. Hold on, he sent it to me. March 1st, Clear Lake tournament. And Richmond Bar and Grill, March 1st. $100 entry fee, 85% payout per boat.
Really?
That's good.
$50 big crappie pot, $50 big bass pot. Oh, there's bass in here too.
There's bass in that lake?
Check-in is at Richmond Bar Grill, 7 a.m.
Are the burgers free?
Yeah. Well, I mean, the good news is right after you do weigh-in, you could just grab a burger.
What time is weigh-in?
3 p.m.
3 p.m.
Must be inside the bay by 3 p.m.
Because
if you
isn't
want
it March 1st they have that other tournament too?
No, that's March 2nd. March 2nd, there's another tournament. That's a bass tournament. No, it's the second.
But it's only like 5 to 7 in the afternoon. It's only like 2
Yeah,
hours.
I don't know any of the details on that one. You sent that one, but I don't.
To you.
I'm working that weekend, so I didn't pay much attention to that. I only know this information because
There's going to be burritos and
sent it
coffee
to me.
available. What kind of burritos?
burritos and coffee available for purchase.
Breakfast burritos, or
That's cool.
because if I go to a Richmond bar, I'm having a burger.
It also says kayaks are welcome.
Nice.
If you're any curiosity about all of this details, reach out to Marlon. He's in the comments right now, or you can hit him up on, he has an Instagram or a Facebook, and it's Crappie Closet.
Yeah.
And if you're curious, this is the emblem right there that you're looking for. Hit Marlin up. Go from there. That's March 1st.
Might be able to fish.
Clear Lake. You can. I won't be able to. I would like to, actually. I just can't. Dang work.
That'll work.
And speaking of Clear Lake, I've heard Clear Lake is doing really good right now.
Yeah, I'm actually nervous about it.
Nervous about what?
That is firing already.
Oh, that it's firing now?
The weather.
So
now.
traditionally, this time of the year, Clear Lake pops off and then it shuts down for like 3 weeks because there's usually one more really cold spell. This is kind of a cold spell, but it's not a major cold spell.
Right.
And then it pops off again. It like slow ramps up again. It never like hard slams like it does right now.
Yeah.
As far as donkeys, there's always donkeys in the lake.
Yeah, the lake is extremely healthy, and all of our lakes seem to be doing very well.
Yes.
It just seems like things are good. A lot of water. The water's. It seems like when the water's up, things just go well.
They call that the new lake effect.
Yeah, I believe it, and I believe it.
Yeah, you can actually look it up and do all that research. It's called new lake effect.
Yeah, that's.
But now that I left that page, let me go back to the other page. Let's see.
Yeah.
We'll get into the
cold spells.
Now that the cold spells actually can pop things off this time of the year, or that like late March and stuff. It actually can kind of, I think it actually helps a little bit.
Yeah.
So let's get into it. Our first tournament of the year.
So how are we doing this? We're going to be talking about
what we think the winning bite will be for that lake.
So we're going to go. So basically, we're going to look into the future and go what we're going to be throwing to try to win the tournament.
What we're going to be doing, what we think is going to win the tournament, and then what we're going to do to try and win the tournament. Oh, Camel Joe's checked in.
Yeah, what's going on, Camel Joe?
What's happening, Camel Joe? First one is February 22nd and 23rd, Clear Lake. What do you think?
Well,
what's your guys' thoughts?
I'm praying that I can attack with reaction baits and cover water. And then if you do get bit, don't be in a hurry to move because they are known to bunch up this time of year. So
major bunch up.
And so that's what I hope happens. But if that ain't happening, then you're just gonna have to slow down. And
so you're gonna throw reaction?
Yeah, I'm gonna throw reaction first thing in the morning. I'm trying to get more into A rigs, little swim baits, bigger swim baits. I like spinner baits up there too, up this time of year, in February. That's sort of what I'm hoping happens. The other thing in February is, especially Clear Lake, it seems like the fish will be out further. It ain't so much that it's deep, but they'll be sitting in 10 foot of water, 20, 30 feet out in front of a dock. You know what I mean? They'll be staging, I guess, out. Yeah. And so you got to be, that's where the lack of electronics hurts me to find that, but that's something I got to pay attention to. If I'm fishing shallow, 1 to 8, and I'm not getting bit, I got to be not afraid to bounce out a little bit and try to find them.
Before forwards facing sonar, we fished February together, and we were we were fishing shallow. The water was up like super high. So we weren't fishing shallow. We were fishing like 8 foot. Well, then a year or two goes by, we fished the same one, but on different boats. And I was fishing the same structure, but as I was like driving in on side scan, I was seeing fish, but I could never get them to fire. At least I thought they were fish, or they were short weeds. Needless to say, later on when I got forward scan, I realized those were the fish, and I did catch some out of there, but I don't think it's necessarily the structure. It's more of the staging, the depth, stuff like that.
Yeah.
But they are going to be, like you said, they're going to be the outside lines. Don't look for them up tight. They're going to be in the stage lanes.
But if this weather stays really nice, they could be on beds.
Yeah.
Literally in February. Because we're 3 weeks into February.
We just had a wolf moon too, I think. What it was.
Well, I mean, it's getting up to the low 60s during the day. I mean, it is not cold. This is January, and it is not. It's really not.
Well, it was cold this morning. I don't know if you got out of the house, but
I mean, it's cold, but you know what I mean. It ain't staying as 35 or 40 as the high is where I'm going.
right.
First thing in the morning, it's chilly. Don't get me wrong. Clear Lake is at like roughly 1,000 feet. It's gonna be chilly.
Yeah, it's not gonna be pleasant.
And I'm sure because it's a club outing, we're gonna be getting stormed on. That's about a guarantee.
Yeah.
If it's a club event, it's gonna be bad.
Yeah.
That just sort of goes hand in hand, right?
Yeah. Now this is February. Like you're saying, if it stays warm, they may push up earlier. But traditionally in that February, they can be shallow, but not like they're gonna be when we get there in March.
Well,
March, they're gonna be a lot shallower. What's your take on February? Not March.
On February. See that thing right over there? That's what I'm throwing all day, every day. And I'm going to start at the end of docks, and I'm going to go all the way to where when I throw it up there, I'm pulling it off the bank.
Yeah.
That's what I'm doing. I fished
it
last year.
It could be anywhere.
In February, in the area that I enjoy to fish.
February was tough.
It was really tough.
There was only one boat that limited day one, if I remember right.
Yeah.
But I brought in 2 fish for 10 pounds.
Yeah, that was me. That was a weird day because we only fished the first day. I caught our one and only fish 15 minutes into the morning on a spinnerbait, and we never got another bite the rest of the day. It was a weird day. It was very frustrating. We saw a few fish caught around us, but it was like we're thinking, oh man, we're gonna go. It's gonna be a good day, and then you go 7.5 hours and never get another bite.
My poor partner didn't catch a fish all weekend.
It was brutal. It was absolutely tough.
But I caught a 6 and a 4.
Yeah, I mean that was awesome.
Yeah,
We had day 2, we had 4 for 18 or something like that. We didn't even get a limit either day. Yeah. We had 4 for 18. We had the right bites, just not enough of them.
Yeah, it's hard. They were hard.
And we missed a bite window. Like we needed another half hour before weigh-in. Like if our weigh-in would have been a half hour, we would have had that 5th fish.
Yeah.
Now last year was pretty stormy. January, February, up to that event.
It's
the lake
stormy this time of year.
And so that's what I'm saying.
I'm hoping
every year's different.
I honestly think that we would have had a different turnout for that tournament if we had different time frames.
Yeah, we started at 8.
We started at 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
Right. The bite was over at 8 o'clock, and the bite was just starting to turn on in the afternoon, and we had to go weigh in.
It's funny because like in the summertime, people are like, oh, you have to be there for that first change of light bite. And then the wintertime rolls around, they're like, no, it's too cold out there. There's no change of light bite. And then like the more you fish, the more you realize,
well,
there's a change of light bite 24/7 or potentially throughout the entire year. Doesn't matter what the weather is.
And being that I got my one and only bite within the first 15 minutes of that 8 o'clock blast off and then was done, it really shined like, whoa, that is a thing, right?
And there's a lot of people that said they caught fish right off the jump and then everything shut down.
Yeah.
So, but
all right.
Next is March 22nd and 23rd. Literally one exact month later in March.
I'm gonna change one thing with that. Is I'm gonna be throwing the A rig. And I'm gonna be throwing that
mag draft,
6-inch mag draft
in that color.
In this color, the white back. I'm gonna be throwing that. 100%. Those are the two things I'm going to have in my hand all day, every day. My shoulders back going to be a little wore out, but that's what I'm going to be throwing.
Nice.
I am going to add a trash fish. But I'm still going to be throwing A-rig and the mag draft. And then I'm going to add the trash fish. And basically what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be going down the bank with an A-rig till I get bit, then catch them until they're done catching. And then I'm going to throw the trash fish over in the same spot.
Yeah.
And then the mag draft, I'll be able to throw through trash, anything on the bank,
Everything.
trash.
I throw the freestyle one. So I bury the hook and I throw it as far up into the shallow as I can.
Yeah, I think my biggest, I'm the same way, but I'll probably keep more of my time dirt shallow.
Yeah.
I mean, like 0 to 5 foot.
I will
I
probably,
will be spending, that's where I'm hoping to spend the bulk of my time is dirt shallow in the stuff, you know, pitching and flipping around because the lake's going to be full again, basically. So
Hopefully.
the deepest water I'll probably fish in March is probably going to be 8 foot. Everything's going to be less than 8 foot.
Yeah.
Likely. Premonition wise.
Paul said last year
Hopefully.
the lake was super full, had to idle out a half mile.
that was
Yeah.
February.
Yeah.
yeah,
So
that's right. That's right.
Hopefully
It was
It's
quarter mile.
not-
I don't know.
hopefully it's
What is that?
not that, but very close to that, right? Because
Yeah.
I want that full water.
I want the full water in March, 100%. How it gets there, I don't care. I know it's only a couple of feet down. It's
Yep.
raised up pretty good
Yeah, it
already.
won't take much to top that one off.
Yeah,
If
hopefully.
we just one or two more good, heck, one more really good storm, I think we about top her off.
Yeah, and then
The one thing I did, Camo Joe just commented, hog farmer, that would be also a February thing is checking offshore rock.
Yeah.
In one of the in the narrows
unless he's talking
somewhere.
about hog farmer.
Yeah, the hog farmer A-rig. But that reminded me, there may be some scope and bite of some sort out off of offshore rock.
Oh, sure.
Because there's like a time period where the narrows pop off and then the north end pops off and then the narrows pop off again. And it depends on where you gap that of where it lands weather-wise. You can't predict any of that.
Yeah.
But if you kind of understand the basic of which one goes at what time, you can narrow it down as your best guess.
Guess he's asking if we know what the moon phase is in February when we fish.
Don't care.
Not yet. I will care. I will look it up and see exactly what is what, because
I think it influences you, how you react to things. I don't think it influences the fish.
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree. I think
It's funny because like
I think the fishermen are affected more than the fish.
it's funny because like you can find people who are completely devout into the moon phase matters, and then you get people who don't care at all, and then you get people who kept track of it and they prove that it matters, and then you get people who keep track of it and prove that it doesn't matter.
Right.
It's like it's all your perspective of how you go in it, which
Exactly.
is just like the rest of fishing.
Yeah, just fishing in general, right?
I think that it has to do with your style of fishing. Could either, if you get in tune enough with your style and keep track of the moon phase, you can probably make them work with each other and make them go.
I'll agree to disagree.
That's right.
You're saying that you can't adapt your style to the moon phase. That's what I just said.
I'm just saying that I don't care about the moon phase as into what style I'm fishing. I'm saying that I will look at the moon phases. I will want, if it is a good moon phase, I will want to be on my best water at that time with lines in the water. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Not that it's going to affect my fishing into what I'm going to use or whatnot.
Right.
I want to be on my spot, throwing my stuff. I'm going to be in the best spot I feel like I could be in at that time.
Right.
Gary Speed says he likes the shows, live chat, the videos. I appreciate that, Gary.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank
We
you.
try to keep it real. I appreciate that.
Camel Joe says he wants to say that moon phase affects major feeding times.
Yeah.
I agree.
I don't think it matters.
So how do you guys feel about this, the spawn and the full moon? Do you think it happened? Do you think?
At all?
Yeah, because that's the other one where, oh my God, they, 2-3 days before and through 2-3 days is when they bed and they didn't. Well, yeah, they do, but I don't think with no moon they're still spawning. I don't think it's as big.
That's the thing is that I don't think. Look at Todd Castledine and Ish Monroe. They have made a career from spawn bed fishing. Neither one of them believe the moon phase matters.
Yeah.
They think that there are far more things that influence before moon phase as far as spawn wise.
I believe that.
I don't think it matters. I think it's more of a timing. I think temperature, length of day, weather conditions. I think all that matters way more before moon phase does.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then like you said, everybody has their personal preference on that one. It's like you go out on the full moon phase and have an amazing trip or two. Well, then you're going to be convinced that's the reason why, and it's fine, absolutely fine.
No,
there's
you're
not
wrong.
a wrong way. Yeah, there's not a wrong way.
You're not wrong. If you find a way to make it work for you,
absolutely,
then that is exact. I mean, that's what fishing's all about. Is finding a way to make something work for you.
Yeah.
So if you can pick up a tip like the delta with the tide.
Yeah.
Right. If I'm looking for a specific tide break and I go to a spot and it works, and that was the previous time that it worked, you were able to like start connecting some dots.
Yeah.
And then you go back a third time and it doesn't work, and you go back a fourth time and it does work, and then you're like, I don't know what the variable that changed is, but something changes.
Marlon, you should scroll up and look at some of those comments. I think you do have a boat and a partner to fish with, possibly.
You can at least talk it out.
He's right there on there with a boat and needing a partner, wanting to fish. I think I just hooked you guys up for the tournament.
Anything else on Clear Lake?
Well,
I'm probably going to stick to the north end, I'll be honest with you. I'm probably not going to stay down there. There is that whole second window that's in the Narrows. If it's not in that second window, I'll probably be in the north end.
Yeah, most likely. That's where I'll be looking. If I get an opportunity to pre-fish, that's where I'll be looking.
Yeah.
So.
I will tell you, I believe, and I'm going back to the moon, I believe more into the moon from sturgeon fishing, because I guarantee you that when I've gotten more bite sturgeon fishing, and sturgeon fishing is super slower than what bass fishing is.
Yeah, it's beer and nap time.
Yes.
While everybody else watches the rods and I just sit there taking a nap.
Yes.
Because I cannot stay awake. I can't hold still that long.
But
I love doing it. I just can't hold still that long.
I believe that I would rather look at those higher percentages, efficiencies for sturgeon fishing. And if it's a low, I'm probably not going to go.
So does that affect the bigger the moon, the bigger the tide sometimes? I mean,
that's the other thing.
So that just the bigger flow, I think, would generate maybe more bites.
Yeah, your rotation,
which makes sense, right? Yeah, you're right. It would be. Yes. It makes sense.
I'm just talking about the coefficient, right? Like
the
different coefficient changes when the mood is in different spots, and the higher it is, the more sturgeon I've caught.
Right.
Those time frames.
Yeah. I
and even if
for sure.
There was one night that we did a sturgeon tournament that was no moon. It was super dark out there all night long, and we caught 10 fish.
Yeah, great night.
Right? Like
that's a crazy good night.
They don't need their eyes.
No, they don't need their eyes, but the coefficient was really high at that time frame.
Yeah.
It's a big word. I don't even know what it means.
Yeah, it sounded good.
It did sound good.
Sounds official.
Ripping right over.
I'm trying over here.
It ripped right over my head.
In Deep has a video talking about coefficient on the Delta. I saw like half of it, and I was like working and listening to it, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna have to like go back and like watch this, and get work and do this.
My dad Floyd popped on. He said that it's a full moon on February 14th, and it's a waning moon on the 22nd.
Yeah, so that should be waning means back half almost That's like, so you got like full moon, half moon, and then waning would be the back half of waning. So you're
Not much moon.
you're almost on the 14th. You're almost new moon. Like you're within a couple of days of new moon.
I will tell you that doing sturgeon fishing and writing down what the moon was to fish we caught and trips I went out there, definitely made sense, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. We're on tournament 3 out of 11.
All right, let's go.
Berryessa 5th and 6th. Berryessa. Likely going to be a bed fishing tournament.
Unfortunately.
I'm going to throw an A-rig.
I'm going to throw an A-rig. I'm going to drop it on the bed. I'm going to drag it for super.
No. Last year I was catching.
Has anyone tried that?
I can get you A-rigs.
It'd work. If you didn't snag or hang up, it would work. Anything would work on a bed if they're hot.
Yeah.
You could throw
I may have just stumbled on something stupid.
Yeah, you might have.
I'm going to try it.
What date is Barry? Marlon's asking.
I just said it.
5th and 6th or something.
5th and 6th.
5th and 6th.
April.
Hey,
5th and
the
6th.
way the weather's been going, it could be a post spawn or it could be a spawn.
It'll either be pre-spawn or current spawn.
But
there will be some fishing post spawn, but I think the major wave will be on beds at that time.
Berryessa is so big that you could have different spawns in different areas also.
Yes.
And there's multiple phases of the spawn, but
It'll probably be one off of beds.
yeah, probably.
Yeah.
So you're gonna be throwing what?
That was a rough outing last year.
I'm gonna be throwing drop shot, dart head. I'm not gonna throw net rig. I know it works on a bed, but I'm not throwing it.
Swim bait.
It's just like a pride thing.
Yeah, whatever.
I'm gonna be throwing. I'm legit gonna try it. I'm gonna throw an A-rig on it.
I'm gonna throw a.
I'm not joking because when this thing lays down, it lays down like this. Like, yeah, I'm gonna be trying it.
Well, first thing in the morning, I'll definitely be throwing reaction baits just because that's the way I like to fish.
Yeah.
But I'll be throwing square bills. A-rigs and square bills would be my 1-2 punch probably in the morning. And then if I had a chance to I got bit last year in the April because I pre-fished Wednesday before the tournament, and they were not, for me, where I looked, they were not on the beds. So Saturday I got tricked. I went to the east side and I spent 4 hours fishing around the flood because the lake was full. We literally never got a bite in 4 hours, and I knew I made a humongous mistake. And then when I finally figured it out, it was too late. I stuck 1 4-pounder off a bed and the day was over.
Yeah, it was.
And I had no fish located. I was just sort of like Sunday we went back, grinded a limit, bed fishing, but it was only like 12 pounds. I just didn't have anything dialed in. And the few fish that I did find got beat to death Saturday because I could see. Well, that's what tipped me off. Is I saw these other boats up in the dirt, and I'm like, no way. They weren't there Wednesday.
Yeah.
They were.
They weren't pre-fishing. It was weird because Friday they were stacked up on the bed. Saturday they disappeared. Sunday they came back. Same beds.
I saw them all 3 days on beds.
Yeah, depending on where you were. 100% depending on where you were in the lake. That is the time of year that you need to move around.
3.5 inch swim bait on a 3/16 ounce jig head.
Yeah.
Be great for bed fishing.
Not horrible at all. And just
Or even casting and real slow rolling.
Slow rolling that thing
Yeah.
in staging areas or the guts of creeks or
Yep.
not creeks, but the guts of things.
The coves.
Of coves.
Yeah,
That's the
absolutely.
word you're looking for.
Yeah. That's just such a big word.
I'll tell you one thing different I'm going to do maybe this year if I get a chance, like say once again, if I can get up and pre-fish a little bit, is I may venture back into the Narrows.
Yeah.
I have
Narrows has been on fire lately.
I have abandoned the Narrows because back a long time ago there was just you couldn't get the quality
It was
right
a
there.
ton of spots
Ton of
and a
spots.
random largemouth.
Yeah, yeah,
That was
yeah.
giant.
And
And now it's
It's changing.
Yeah. I swear it's like the most lifeblood of that lake is in the Narrows.
I think Victor won Saturday last year in the Narrows.
Yeah.
throwing Cincos or something. I mean,
Yeah, I don't doubt.
so they had like 16, 17 pounds, just a solid bag. So, but I may look in there. I like to look in there, just out of curiosity, just because. I mean, I love the main lake. The main lake's fun.
Well, the good thing about the Narrows is you can cover water.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of similar features enough that you can run the water versus like the north end. You got to kind of like this area from here to here works, but then it changes from there on or from there.
Well, yeah, especially if you get a pattern. If you can get them dialed in the Narrows, you can run that pattern a lot easier.
Yep.
Yeah.
What's next?
Next up is May 17th and 18th, Berryessa again.
Oh, that's interesting.
Post-spawn.
That will be post-spawn May. There won't be any beds. That is probably going to be a grinder tournament.
Yeah.
Probably. I'm going to throw an A-rig. You guys don't know?
What's the date?
Throw an A-rig on everything. 17th, it's mid-month.
Okay.
May, mid-month.
Okay.
I probably, you know what else I'll be probably throwing, to be real? I'll be probably throwing an A-rig and a jerkbait.
Yeah, that.
To be honest with you, I'll probably be throwing a jerkbait.
That jighead minnow kind of shuts off around that spawn time. It's really like a pre-spawn thing. So I don't know about that. They usually just come up after it. They don't actually eat it that time of the year. I don't know. I think the overall win is gonna come off of probably drop shot.
Most likely.
Probably throw
that,
as
that's
Marlon
what I'm
says too.
Yeah, I'm throwing a walk.
In the
I'm
morning.
gonna start with a walking bait of some sort.
Yeah, I think
and go from there. But I like I say, I'm gonna try to throw reaction baits, but I got a feeling I'll be picking up my Carolina ring.
I think a
doing
lot
some
of
dragon.
Yeah, I think like the one-off bite that'll break you away from the rest of the crowd is gonna be on the A-rig, the plopper, the spook. It's gonna be on something like that.
Glide bait.
The glide bait.
Yeah.
But as far as the actual like rest of the bag, I think it's gonna end up being some sort of drop shot or finesse-y something like that. There's gonna be like a morning window and an afternoon window, and then the middle is gonna be the finesse baits, the Ned rigs, the drop shots, the what have you.
Paul went to Barry today. He said he threw A-rig Ned and drop shot caught smallmouth.
Nice. That's awesome.
Smallmouth are getting rarer and rarer, which is a sign that spotted bass are taking over a lake.
Yep.
What's the next lake?
Next lake is.
Oh man, I don't even want to talk about this one.
Almanor. Almanor.
Up in Chester, up by.
I don't know. I don't even think
it's deep.
I have not been there in my adult life, and that is June 7th and 8th.
Clearwater
which
lake.
is gonna put it right back in the same funk as the May funk, but there's spotted bass there, right?
It's a big smallmouth lake, but I don't know anything.
It's a big smallmouth lake.
Yeah, big smallmouth.
It actually may not be that bad if it's a big smallmouth lake. They actually might be on good.
Yes,
I know Trinity is a little bit different. It's a lot farther north, but it is a traditionally smallmouth lake, and it does hit later in the season. They were on beds that time of the year.
Where is Almanor? More of a northeast, right?
Yeah, no, they're literally different parts of California.
You're going up to like Susanville area.
As far as like
really?
higher elevation, colder water, later in the year, they're more similar to each other in that.
So it might be.
They're literally June. They'll probably be off the beds, but there could be bedfish.
Yes,
there still could be bedfish.
100%.
Yeah.
Never been there. None of us have been there, right?
I'm probably gonna throw A-rig.
No way.
Probably gonna throw A-rig.
Yeah, if you were to choose it or lose it, A-rig or any other bait.
Well,
I think right now he's back on an A-rig.
I would definitely
give it a year and he'll be like
jerk bait too.
Yeah, that's next year's fix.
Yeah,
a lot of jerk baits.
We're just cycling.
Yeah, we just cycle through.
So we don't have much information on Almanor because we don't know much information on Almanor.
I've never fished it.
Nope, smallmouth. All I know.
July 19th and 20th. Currently is Delta. Some of the stuff's gonna be subject to change because of golden mussels.
Yes.
So that means we'll change every tournament.
We don't
Delta.
know.
No,
Oh,
No.
what?
no, we're talking about
I don't
maybe
want-
Come on now.
changing the Delta tournament to Clear Lake and then going Delta back to back.
Go Delta back to back, and then it wouldn't even be Clear Lake back to back. Anyways, preliminary, where we are at now.
Yeah.
July 19th and 20th, Delta.
6 hour day.
I'm gonna be throwing this bad boy right here.
Oh,
Jig rig. I'm gonna be flipping a jig rig with Rage Bug in probably this color too, watermelon red. The other options will be Crawdaddy.
Yep.
And what's that other one? I really just throw those two.
Yeah.
Oh, the no, the fire red one or whatever it is.
well, that's more.
That's usually
later.
back half of summer.
Yeah, that's later in the year. That's
The other thing will be Spook Junior, top water, and the old Wappa Flopper.
yes.
I don't know if I'll throw this, the 130 size. I might throw the smaller. I know you throw the 130 size or Chapo.
Yeah, the chop. I'm gonna be throwing, punching, flipping, same type baits,
Down and dirty with them.
getting down and dirty. I'll throw a square bill. I'll throw a walking bait or a chopo or something like that. But those are probably gonna be
You're popping frog.
frogs. I'll probably be throwing
Yeah.
a frog in there too.
Paul, one-off question. You said you caught only smallmouth. Were you fishing main lake or narrows? I'm gonna guess you were fishing main lake. Anyways,
My favorite summertime Delta bait is a buzzbait. So I will be throwing a buzzbait in the morning, and then I will switch to a square bill, and then I will switch between a spinnerbait and a chatterbait. And then I'll pick up my drop shot rod to get my 8 to 12 pounds.
He said narrows.
that's cool. Because I've been having troubles catching smallmouth consistently inside the narrows.
Yeah.
So it's nice to hear that that's.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
power fish that Delta, man, if I can. That's fun.
Delta in July, and then if it really, really sucks weather-wise, it will be a Cinco.
Yeah.
I will probably not.
I'll try.
I may have a co-angler throwing Cinco, but I'm probably just going to keep flipping that thing around.
Yeah.
Next up is we go back to Clear Lake in August 2nd and 3rd,
Mm-hmm.
right after my dad's birthday.
Uh,
I'm going to be throwing this again.
Yeah.
I'm going to be throwing that again. I'm going to be throwing this again. I'm going to be throwing this.
It's almost the same. For me, it's almost the same attack as the Delta.
Pretty much.
Very,
I'm gonna
very,
be-
or at least the start of the Delta.
Except I won't be as reliable on Cincos. I don't know why I don't throw Cincos that much on Clear Lake. I know people who just slaughter them up there, but
I will.
um,
And I'll
I don't know for some reason why I don't. Maybe I need to change.
I'm gonna throw
my mind.
big Cincos, like 6 and 7 inchers.
Oh, I didn't even think of that. Marlon reminded me. Frog.
Yeah, frost.
Frog for July and frog for August at
Yeah.
Clear Lake.
Yeah.
I mean, I love frog.
Yeah.
That bite wasn't fully on last year. There was some key bites that I had, but it wasn't fully on last year.
Yeah, it wasn't great for me at all.
But yeah, that would basically be, it'd kind of be the same lineup for the most part. I probably won't have drop shot in the boat. I may have it in the boat, but I'm not going to use it.
Great
Either
news. Great news is you're not gonna have to change a bunch of leaders or
No.
tackle.
No.
It'll all be about the same. Delta to Clear Lake.
Let me bounce back for just a second. So last year, same as like Berryessa, which is doing great. The Delta, the last few years, quality has been hard to come by.
I just saw a podcast with a guy that says he can't even count the amount of 5+s he caught last year in the Delta.
Yeah, but for us, the club level
It
guys,
is interesting that the people who are tapped into it are like, this is amazing. And then I think they just adapted with the water because it's changed.
because think how many small fish from 14-inch to 5-inch bass you can catch in the Delta last year.
Oh, yeah.
Was even like Berryessa.
You didn't want to throw a Cinco because you were.
Yeah, it was impossible to
Yeah.
almost weed through them. I wonder if it's going to be a lot more 2-pounders to 3-pounders because of that. I mean, they had a great spawn, right? There was unbelievable amount of fish.
The only thing that can limit that is competition for food. So if you have a ton of 1-pounders, it's harder for them to get to the 2-pound level because there's a ton of them. That's like what you see at Clear Lake, right?
Right.
At Clear Lake, you saw a lot of 2 to 3-pounders for a couple of years straight. And then that water rose, and all of a sudden, boom, 4 to 5-pounders everywhere.
Yeah, the lake took off.
Like it needed that extra new lake effect.
Which the Delta, we don't get that, right? It's always the same.
Always the
It's
same.
just a title. But I'm just curious how it's going to play out this summer as far as size. Like, are we going to catch more 2 to 4-pounders than the undersized to, 2 pounds and less?
I will tell you that the Delta is so large that depending on where you go is where you're gonna.
Yeah, but you can get in the right zone, right?
There are pockets of the Delta that even right now are probably popping off. I have not fished it, but I could probably guarantee you they're popping off right now.
Yeah.
But you
MJ just
gotta,
posted that one of his biggest sacks that he's caught on the Delta.
yeah.
It was like
So
38 pounds.
Yeah.
So, and that's in January.
And the guys are learning.
You gotta know what area to be in, and that's just Delta in general.
Yeah.
So that's Clear Lake in August. Was there anything? Clear Lake in August, I'm probably gonna be in the Narrows.
Yeah.
Likely.
Deeper water.
I'm gonna be in the Narrows. I probably won't be in the North End.
I'll start off as normal. I'll start out shallow with reaction, and then I'll migrate out deeper.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna be somewhere. I don't want to say rockish, but that kind of
Yeah,
effect.
it's probably more of a rocky thing. Or deep docks.
Then we go to September, Delta, end of September, 27th to 28th. So that's almost October, Delta flipping. I'm probably just going to be flipping and grinding out bites because it's going to be punching and flipping that back half of the year.
Yep.
They could, depending on when the weather events come through, they could still be on top water.
Yeah.
Because I've definitely been on a good plopper bite that time of the year, and a good.
I was gonna say you say chat because I like those spinnerbaits. So I've had some good spinnerbait bites around that 1st of October.
Yeah.
That fall, beginning of fall.
Flipping. A lot of flipping.
Square bill. You can't go wrong with a square bill.
Got that new rod. I'll be flipping.
And I just bought a new rod.
Be flipping.
You be flipping. You be flipping.
Just flip all around the world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where are we going to next?
Right after that is Folsom, end of the month, October 25th and 26th is Folsom. I have not ever fished Folsom from the water. I've only fished it from the bank.
Never fished it.
Caught a fish on a spinnerbait, and I was probably 10.
I'm gonna throw my spinnerbait.
Yeah, this is the spinnerbait version. October, that time of the year, I bet it fishes a lot like Comanche. I bet it's going to be fish pushing bait, and you're either going to be throwing A-rig, scope,
jerk bait.
It's going to be fish pushing bait.
Yeah.
And you're just going to be looking for offshore humps, offshore rock, coves, deeper coves that they can push stuff into.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of spots in Folsom now, right?
They've been there forever.
And if you catch them in day one at this spot, fish everywhere but that spot.
Yeah.
Because they won't be in that same spot the next day. They're not even going to be there 3 hours from now.
Unless they hold the bait.
Yeah.
Marlon, I will get those Cincos, but we're going to talk about color.
Yeah.
I got a color I like.
Folsom's interesting.
Really
God, we used to fish it regularly back in the day in
That's
the team circuits, but man, it's been so long.
That's even if we could get on it.
Yeah, right now it's really low, but they still got snow runoff.
Yeah.
And I swear every year they have trouble judging how much snow runoff they get.
Yeah, they don't judge it very well.
I
They dump too
personally-
much water
I
out.
personally think that they underestimate how much water the cities use themselves. It's the only thing I can think of.
Yeah.
Because they're off every year.
But
It never goes completely dry,
But it gets low.
but it gets low.
yeah, 5 mile an hour.
Yeah, I fished it one time. I think we talked about that one year. I fished it plumb full. I mean, brim full. It was amazing. In fact, we won the tournament. It was crazy.
Yeah, that time
Fishing all that flooded trees and bushes and stuff that never seen water on them ever. And then all of a sudden they're all underwater. Yeah. It was awesome.
Yeah, the only time I caught a fish off of there, it was like there was trees in the water, if I remember right.
If there's trees in the water, you know what I'm throwing.
Yeah, but it was like tree bases, like it wasn't.
No way. No way.
I don't know if you guys.
I know what I'm throwing. Yeah, we don't need. We already know.
A-rig.
Next after that,
your favorite
is.
You can't talk bad about it anymore.
Nope. You lost that privilege.
You lost that privilege. You can't talk bad about it.
I'm the only one that can snivel. I can keep sniveling.
Yeah, you can snivel harder than me.
Yeah, big time.
November 15th and 16th at Comanche. It doesn't matter what you think you're going to do for that tournament. It'll be wrong. It'll probably be jig head minnow, A-rig, drop shot. It's probably going to be those three. Ned rig, something that you just cast out, let it hit the bottom, take a nap for a couple of hours, and then your line's swimming away.
Yeah.
Painful.
Jerk bait.
Maybe the lake will be closed.
And it'll take all dang day to get a flipping limit. He'll be catching 60 fish a day, and it'll take me all day to get that fifth fish. And I traditionally don't get the fifth fish both days.
I'll get my 1 to 2.
Yeah, it is 1 to 2 and move on.
It's been like that the last 5 years in a row.
Val says that lake sucks.
You can't say
that. Lake still sucks.
Mike
I don't give a crud.
Do not get in my boat with me on that lake, Mike.
I'm
clueless. I'm so clueless.
I hate it. That lake is the inspiration for me replicating Jordan Lee's shirt, because I couldn't order it from Jordan Lee's website because it's always sold out, that says this lake sucks. And it's from
they could drain that one.
Yeah. Jordan Lee's phrase, not my phrase.
Drew Rod says he'll fish a full moon with a banana in the boat. Banana in the boat.
Yeah, he's always got a banana in the boat every day.
Oh yeah.
I thought he jinxed us one day.
Yeah, well, we made a comeback.
We made a comeback.
We haven't yet. We haven't. We suck when we fish together.
Yeah, we still got a.
We're 50-50. We're 50-50.
Yeah.
Yeah, as far as Comanche though, it will be not everyone's going to limit.
No.
Half the people are not going to limit. The other half will, and it's kind of a have or have nots kind of thing. That's just kind of the way that lake is that time of the year. And I personally, as of this last year, have figured out how much the fish move and don't hold still. And that's why I've always struggled with it, is because I don't like the fish move like as fast as they can swim, basically. Like you can't, they don't hold still. You have to follow them, and they set up a lot significantly different than I even thought they did. And those are all spotted bass. I don't know about the largemouth. I used to know.
They're still there.
They're still there. I caught a couple this last year because the water level set up right to get back to my largemouth areas.
But you know what?
But they're not as much as they were before.
No, years ago, we used to hold our own. Believe it or not, I still like the lake. I just don't know how to fish it. And I'm not equipment-wise set up to fish the lake correctly. But back when, we used to catch quite a bit of largemouth, where it would be in our bag, or even smallmouth, right? So we would hold our own and do pretty good based on that. Well, now in the last 5 years, unfortunately, I've been running a lot of my same water, and we may get lucky and catch 1 or 2, but that's it. It just does not. The largemouth bite there, in my opinion, is going away. That's just what I'm seeing. I could be wrong. There's some donkey. That lake's got some big ones, but
last year
the numbers for largemouth, I think, are way down.
Last year we had a team that ran up the creek, ran up towards the bridge, and caught some decent largemouth.
Yeah.
So they're still around. I think they're just changing their habits because of those spotted bass.
Yeah, they have moved out of my areas big time.
Yeah. Next up, is December tournament. And that is the 6th and 7th. It's always the first weekend of December because, holidays.
Yeah.
6th and 7th, Berryessa. A-Rig. That's pretty much it.
A-Rig and drop shot.
A-Rig, drop shot, and some jig head minnow. I'll pepper that in there. But realistically, A-Rig.
I might throw a jig.
Yeah, maybe.
A-Rig.
They're usually looking up at that time
I'm
of
gonna throw
year.
an A-Rig because they're gonna be feeding on shad.
Yeah. And you're not going to catch like donkeys, but you're going to catch a consistent sack and still have a chance at donkeys.
Yeah.
But your average fish is going to be that 3 to 4-ish, somewhere around there.
Yeah.
You just have a solid bag.
Yeah, there'll be some really nice fish for you.
And I'm going to be looking for green grass. If I can find green grass, that's the number one thing I'm going to find. I don't care where it's at on that lake. I want to find green grass that time of the year and figure out how to get them out of there because that's usually where the 5+s are chilling and hanging out at.
I'll tell you right now, Berryessa has green grass in a lot of areas.
Yeah.
And that
It's amazing when the water level stays fairly stable for a year or two.
Yeah, you'll find.
Yes, it dropped up and down, but it stayed fairly. Like the fuller a lake is, or the more full a lake is, when X amount of water comes out of it, it only goes down a little bit. Versus when it's really, really low and that same amount of water goes out, you're dropping multiple feet.
Yeah.
So when it's full like that, it keeps a lot of the grass in that zone where they can still grow year round and not get too shallow or too deep.
Right.
And it lets the nutrients wash from the waves and all that wash into that band. That happens.
I'm telling you. Grass.
But that
I might even.
Berryessa in December is my favorite time to fish Berryessa. Like if you were to pick
a LV too.
Yeah, that December, that November to December time, that is my number one thing. And then that grass, you got LV, you got A-Rig, you got chatterbait, you got spinnerbait, you got if they will come up on top water, you can throw top water over the top of it. There's just a lot of things you can do to get them out of that grass. And traditionally that time of the year, that grass is tall grass. Like it's actually like stands of grass.
I'll actually take the flashy swimmer and take the flashy off and rig a Kitech and throw it through it.
Yeah, I forgot about that. Flashy swimmer. That would play into deltas and clear lakes. And I kind of forgot about that bait completely.
Yeah.
I haven't been throwing it as much this last year.
Because the water levels up and the A-Rigs work.
Yeah, a lot of the fish were deeper. Or at that same time that I would be throwing that flashy swimmer, I was flipping instead.
Yeah.
Probably targeting the same fish.
Yeah.
Well, we made a mistake when we did good that one day of not going out deeper the next day.
Yeah, we definitely did not adapt day 2.
Yeah.
Did really good day 1 and then just kind of got stubborn and screwed off on day 2.
Yeah.
But the fish went deeper.
Yeah.
And it actually
saw
went
there.
It went towards other people, towards what they were doing, and their bags went up, and that's when we were like, "Yep, that's where we messed up."
It's always changing, right? It's just always changing.
Well, it was changing throughout the day on day 1.
Yeah.
They were moving out as the day went by.
Right.
And then we just acted like they moved back in the next day, and they didn't. They stayed out.
Yeah. Different sunlight too. I think there was a little more clouds on day 1.
Yeah.
That could have changed stuff.
Could have
for
got
us.
them up shallower for that too, right?
Right.
And the bright sun, just like, now I'll stay out here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They don't have islands. And that's another thing to say about fishing those summer months.
Yeah, the
anywhere.
reason why flipping is something that you were doing is because of
No islands.
no eyelets. They're going to be in the shade. They're going to be in ambush points. And what is a really good way to target those? Go in and get them.
Yeah, go punch them.
Yeah, you got punch and flipping.
Yeah.
Just go in and get them. And then the crawdads are going to be in there, obviously, too.
Yeah.
So You're just mimicking.
But all of that thought process in that summertime bite is shade for me. I want moving water and I want shade. So if we're Delta, like I want to put those together, the moving water and shade, right? Punching, flipping.
Yeah, I don't
whatever.
know what the tides are during those tournaments, but if it's one of those like 8 hours, 1 foot swings,
Yeah, it's not.
That's tough
right.
bite.
those
That's the Cinco comes out. Drop shot and Cinco.
those are tough,
Yeah.
tough
You're gonna have
tournaments.
You can throw it on the outside weed lines.
Yeah, you're gonna
Yeah.
deeper.
It's hard to. I think that current helps locate them, or it helps position them so much better that when
Yeah.
you don't have that current, it is.
Yeah,
I still haven't cracked that code.
Yeah, they're just out meandering out, and that's when I get out 10 to 15 feet. I get out deeper for the delta, and they're there.
Yeah,
You know,
Yeah,
they're,
you do
they're
good.
there.
You good?
Yeah.
Do good.
That actually is it's funny. It seems like I almost do better in the grinders.
Yeah.
Than when it's on, right?
And you're throwing drop shot.
Yeah, and I'm drop shotting it. Yeah, absolutely.
Well, I'll tell you, even at Clear Lake, throwing a drop shot like up underneath docks and stuff in the shade, you could in the summertime you could flat wreck them.
You can absolutely.
And you throw 6-inch, so that
Yeah.
helps a lot better. Throwing a 4-inch up in there, man, not so much.
Yeah, I use
But
on
that 6-inch.
that bigger bait.
Throwing that
You know.
bigger bait definitely can turn things on. Get their presence to swim over to them and stuff.
Yep.
And
And
there's gonna be some times we're gonna be right after spawn.
yeah, there's a. Ooh, I didn't even think about that.
The glide baits are fun to throw, but man, trying to get them to hit it and to hook up it's fun. But you can have so many followers, big fish following that you just they just never follow, and it's just
Yeah,
it's frustrating.
that May tournament will actually probably be a glide bait. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
And the water's the right level too.
Yep.
For Berryessa.
Yep.
So there's definitely going to be a glide bait factor in there. And that fades out like mid-June. So it's post-spawn through about mid-June. There's a glide bait bite.
You can get whoever's fortunate
Should
enough
be.
to get a fish or two to eat it is gonna be having a really good day.
Yeah. It's going to be.
And somebody will. Somebody's gonna get a few on it because you're gonna draw fish.
I'll be throwing that one.
Yeah, the 6-inch flow glider. I have not.
You
I have not completely. Or no, I did shave the joints on this one. Yep. But shave the joints on this flow glider.
Great
It wakes
bait.
that bait up so much more.
Great bait. I was throwing that all the way through the summer.
Oh yeah.
I threw it through the summer.
Yeah.
Um,
You did really good.
I really enjoy that bait.
Not this color,
Not that color.
the threadfin color.
Threadfin. But that bait, the flow glider with it shaved, is a great bait. I caught him at the Delta with you.
Mhm.
I caught him at
Oh, gosh.
Berryessa.
Yeah.
That was crazy.
I've got them on alone.
I wish it what sucked because it was right at the end of the day.
Right.
It was like, oh my God, I'd love to see you mess with that.
Yeah.
It was like an hour or two sooner.
The problem is bite windows. Like, even if
Yeah.
you picked it up an hour or two sooner, there's no reason why they wouldn't have eaten it.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that bite windows are influenced by the moon. I'm saying that bite windows are influenced throughout the day.
Yeah, that was,
It's more heat, weather, stuff like that. I don't think it's moon phase.
Oh.
I can go back to the videos and look at moon phases and look at our timing, and it doesn't match. Consistently doesn't match.
No, I'm not saying that it's an end all.
No, that's all I'm saying is that if you get enough where if you believe in it, you can always justify it. But if you don't believe in it, you can always unjustify it. That's why no one has this all figured out.
That's right.
Because if they had it all figured out, they'd be able to call shots.
Yeah.
And anybody who does figure that out enough to call shots is sure as heck not going to talk about it.
Yeah.
Because then it wouldn't work anymore because everyone would be doing it.
yeah, personal preference. Simple.
All tomato stuff. There's nothing
Absolutely.
against it. at
No,
all.
not at all.
So,
So overall, schedule for the year.
hey, Rick.
The only thing that Brian needs is this right here.
Yep.
And well, now that we have figured out that you don't need to buy another single rod or another reel for the rest of the year.
I did just buy a rod.
Yeah, you're done for 2025, dude.
I just did buy a rod.
And it wasn't for this.
It wasn't for that.
It was for this and a little of this for 6-inch soft baits.
Yeah.
That rod is mint for 6-inch soft baits. A Phoenix Recon Elite 796 is perfect for the beast hook. That is it ADOT beast hook for 6-inch soft baits. Perfect.
I actually bought it at the Sportsman Show. They gave away a $150 backpack,
Like a wet
Phoenix, like
a
a wet, dry backpack that came with it. It's actually a really nice backpack.
Cool.
And that's why I bought it at the show, right? Because
Yeah, get a gift.
you get a gift with it.
Could
Got a
load a
free
lot of
backpack.
bananas in that thing. Bring them to
I'm
fishing.
not putting,
so many bananas.
Load them down, Brian.
I'm not putting any bananas in.
Come on.
Like the backpack with it being a dry sack too would actually go very good for hunting also.
Oh,
But it's a Phoenix, right?
nice.
Well, I'd like to see us shoot James some posts of the stickers we handed out.
So we handed out stickers to everybody that walked up and said hi.
Yeah.
And if you guys, I'm going to put these stickers in my truck. So if you guys run into me on the water or at the ramp or anything like that, I'll have stickers for it. So
Yeah,
if you see us at the ramp, let
with
us
me.
know. We'll give you out a sticker.
Yeah.
Cool.
I put them in my truck also. So
Yeah. Now
well, yeah,
that's
shoot us
not
some
enough of them.
shoot James some photos of some of the stickers where you put them.
So overall, starting from February, going to December,
Hey, Rick.
Clear Lake, Berry, Almanor, Delta, Clear Lake, Delta, Folsom, Comanche, Berryessa. That is actually almost a 50-50 mix between Clearwater and Muddy Water. Or
That's a good
Swamp
schedule.
water.
That's a good schedule.
yeah, nice
like
good spread. It should be pretty fun to fish.
Well, plus we got throwing Folsom in there somewhere we haven't been really.
Almanor.
Almanor, we got two lakes.
Folsom keeps making it on our schedule, and by the time it's always in that November-ish time of the year, and every time we get close, it's a 5-mile-an-hour speed limit, and we have to move it.
Yeah, or the ramps are closed. We had one where all the ramps were closed. It was so
Yeah,
low.
so low.
They said you could launch off of dirt, and that's just
Yeah, and it launch
Turns
after
the mud
dirt,
in a hurry after one guy, right?
launch after dirt, and it's 5-mile-an-hour only.
yeah.
It's kind of hard to run a tournament and be like, ready, go.
I can keep up with you guys though.
Yeah.
The one good thing is that the kayakers would be pessimists
Yeah, they'd be.
because their torpedoes would be faster than ours.
Yeah.
Um,
That's true.
All right, that is it. If you guys have any ideas for videos, any style or any topics you'd like to talk, hit me up on Instagram.
Yes.
Surprise! Matlock says that he's surprised that Maloney's wasn't picked. I'm actually happy that Maloney's wasn't picked this year because they're going to have some complications. From what I understand, they are not allowing tournaments this entire year at Maloney's. From what I have heard, they canceled all the big tournaments. I do not know that as a fact. I just heard about it through a podcast. So I'm kind of glad we don't have a tournament there. As far as lakes being open, pretty much everyone knows what lakes are open at this point. And
Comanche's still closed.
Comanche is still closed. They are planning on reopening. We just don't know when. And let's hope that the tag system that they do at Berryessa works across multiple lakes in the end.
Yeah,
Fingers crossed.
Yeah, they just got to figure it out.
Anyways, if you have any suggestions, hit me up on Instagram. You can always comment down below. And I think that's it.
Yeah.
We're going to go grab some food because this thing is growling at me.
Uh-oh.
All right, y'all. Until next time, I hope you get them. I'm not smart enough to run this off of fucking